two names often appear: the West Bank and the Golan Heights. These regions, both occupied by Israel since 1967, the Six-Day War, the subject of global headlines ever since. Yet the West Bank and the Golan Heights are not the same. Their histories, people, and futures tell two very different stories. What separates the West Bank from the Golan Heights? There are four key differences. Number one, political status. The West Bank is internationally recognized as occupied Palestinian territory, while the Golan Heights is recognized as Syrian land occupied by Israel. Number two, demographics. The West Bank is largely Palestinian, with a growing number of Israeli settlers. The Golan is sparsely populated, with a mix of Druze and Israelis. Number three, religious and cultural importance. The West Bank is central to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The Golan Heights has less religious resonance, but major strategic significance. Number four, international recognition. The world views both as occupied, but the West Bank's fate is tied to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, while the Golan's fate is tied to Israeli-Syrian relations. Let's look at where they are on the map. The West Bank lies on the eastern side of Israel, bordered by Jordan to the east and Jerusalem and central Israel to the west. It gets its name because it sits on the west bank of the Jordan River. Its terrain is varied, from fertile valleys and terraced hillsides to arid desert stretches near the Dead Sea. Cities like Ramallah, Bethlehem, and Hebron dot the landscape, rich with ancient history and vibrant modern life. The Golan Heights, in contrast, is a high plateau in the northeast, bordering Syria to the east, Lebanon to the north, and Israel's Galilee region to the west. The Golan is volcanic in origin, with rolling hills, fertile farmland, and a commanding view over the surrounding areas. From the Golan, one can see into Lebanon, across to Mount Hermon, and deep into Syria. Its elevation makes it strategically invaluable. Whoever controls the Golan can oversee large swathes of territory. Both the West Bank and the Golan Heights have long histories, stretching back to biblical times. The West Bank includes some of the holiest sites in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Hebron are central to religious traditions and narratives. For Jews, cities like Hebron are tied to the patriarchs and matriarchs. For Christians, Bethlehem is the birthplace of Jesus. For Muslims, the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem is among Islam's holiest places. The Golan Heights, while less tied to religion, also has deep roots. Known in the Bible as Bashan, it was famous for its cattle and warriors. Later, during the Roman and Byzantine periods, the region thrived with agricultural villages. Ruins of ancient synagogues, churches, and towns can still be seen, scattered across the plateau. Fast forward to the modern era. After World War I, both the West Bank and the Golan Heights became part of the French and British mandates carved out of the Ottoman Empire. The West Bank came under British control as part of mandatory Palestine, while the Golan Heights fell under the French mandate of Syria. In 1948, when Israel declared independence, Arab states invaded. The West Bank came under Jordanian control, while the Golan Heights remained part of Syria. For the next 2 decades, the West Bank was governed and annexed by Jordan, and the Golan Heights was Syrian farmland and military territory. Everything changed in June 1967 during the Six-Day War. In less than a week, Israel captured East Jerusalem and the West Bank from Jordan, the Gaza Strip and Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, and the Golan Heights from Syria. Overnight, these territories shifted from Arab control to Israeli occupation. The West Bank today is now home to about 3 million Palestinians and roughly 500,000 Israeli settlers. It is a land of sharp contrasts: bustling Palestinian cities, isolated rural villages, and modern Israeli settlements, often built on hilltops. Governance in the West Bank is complicated. Since the Oslo Accords of the 1990s, parts of the West Bank have been administered by the Palestinian Authority, while Israel retains military control over others. The territory is divided into areas A, B, and C, each with different levels of autonomy and control. For Palestinians, the West Bank is seen as the heart of a future independent state. For Israel, the West Bank carries both religious and security significance. The ongoing expansion of settlements has only deepened tensions and made peace negotiations more difficult. The Golan Heights today is different. Its population is relatively small, about 50,000 people, including Druze Arabs and Israeli settlers. Unlike the West Bank, it is not primarily Palestinian. For Israel, the Golan is crucial because of its elevation and water resources. From the plateau, one can monitor Syrian troop movements. The Golan also provides a significant portion of Israel's water supply through rainfall and the headwaters of the Jordan River. In 1981, Israel passed a law annexing the Golan Heights, effectively declaring it part of Israel. This annexation has not been recognized internationally, except by the United States in 2019. Syria continues to claim the Golan and demands its return in any future peace deal. The difference between the West Bank and the Golan Heights is more than geography. Each represents a different dimension of the Middle East conflicts. The West Bank is the heart of the Palestinian struggle for statehood. Every discussion of a two-state solution revolves around it. The Golan Heights, by contrast, is more about security, borders, and regional power struggles between Israel and Syria. Knowing the distinction helps explain why peace in the Middle East has been so elusive. Each land carries its own baggage, history, and emotional weight, and both remain central to the region's future. So when you hear about the West Bank and the Golan Heights, remember, these are not interchangeable names. One is a land filled with ancient cities and holy sites central to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the West Bank. The other is a high plateau, small in population, but huge in strategic importance, tied to Syria, the Golan Heights. Together, they reveal the complexity of the Middle East. Understanding differences is a step closer to understanding why peace is hard. Like and subscribe for more travel history adventures.